already falling apart. Our water system did not collapse overnight. A lack of basic infrastructure maintenance and investment is the reason why we are still reliant on pipes that were installed in the 1960s as well as the 1970s. Outdated pump stations are not repaired and treatment plants are overloaded and underfunded. This has been a downstream effect which include clinics operating with low water pressure and children getting few hours of learning because their schools have no water. Honorable Speaker, our community have raised these issues. The engineers have given a warning and oversight reports have flagged the water infrastructure challenges across the entire province. However, like the populist that Premier Panyaza Lesufi is, he waited for a disaster to strike so that he can react. This province remains with no province-wide infrastructure plan, no province-wide pipe replacement plan, no water security strategy, and no long-term investment in our infrastructure. Our community, Honourable Speaker, continue to rely on water tankers that are paid for by public funds that are meant to profit the connected few. Premier Lesufi has turned the Gauteng water crisis into a system where insiders profit every time our communities loses water. Madam Speaker, in the city of Johannesburg, the residents live with daily chaos, power outages lasting for weeks, traffic lights that never work, and refuse piling like nobody's business. Honourable Speaker, all while this is happening and every service delivery is collapsing in this province, the Premier's administration continues to spend 34 million on renting of building for the executives. They continue to spend over 408 million annually just to make sure that the executive are comfortable. This, when we translate it all together, it comes down to over 2 billion in 5 years. And this happens all while this province owns 41 building that we could really be utilizing to ensure that we save the money or redirect it to other service delivery. When the scandal about this building came, the Premier did not waste time. He did as we know him to do. He ran from one media to another, telling them and promising that the investigation will take place over 2 months. But I stand here, this is 7 months later, there has no report, there has no consequences management that has been taken place, and we sit here with the very same expenditure that the Department of Infrastructure is spending. Today, Honourable Speaker, I stand here with the full weight of the people of Gauteng's frustration and say that a Premier who cannot lead cannot stay. A Premier who cannot protect the most vulnerable cannot continue to retain the highest seat in this province. And as much as the EFF, the Action SA might come here and forget the little faces in our communities, the poorest of the poor, we are calling upon this House to call upon the Premier Panyaza
Your time is up,
that even if the motion
Honourable
doesn't continue, that he do the most honourable thing and
Thank
resign.
you very much, Honourable Rasidiwane. Okay, Wabulel, go ahead. Honourable Klava, Honourable Klava, Honourable members, Honourable Klava, it's your time to debate.
Thank you, Speaker. The Public Protector Report number 21 of 2025-26 states it investigated allegations of irregular establishment, appointment and deployment of crime prevention wardens sanctioned by Premier Lesufi. The DA screams illegal militia. Page 6 records the Premier's announcements on 7 October 2022, which was a bold, visionary response to Gauteng's crime crisis. 6,000 young, agile officers to assist SEPs. The DA called this reckless from day one. The DA's motion is not a legal instrument. It is a weapon of ideological warfare. We dismantle it line by line, fact by fact. The DA demands SIU probes into Gauteng, but turns a blind eye to Joburg's 1.2 billion Fleetgate fraud, Tshwane's 100 million broadband scandals, mid-while hiring of Gauteng fraud-implicated officials. But this is not mere corruption. The DA's rot runs deeper. A legacy of racism, apartheid sympathy, and Zionist entanglements that threatens to turn South Africa into another Palestine. Where it governs, there is entrenched inequality, selective service delivery, and policies that exclude rather than empower. Let us name it plainly. The DA, through figures like Helen Zille, has long peddled the lie that post-apartheid redress, our hard-won tools against centuries of white supremacy, is more racist than apartheid itself. In 2025, they dragged South Africa to court over the Employment Equity Amendment Act, fighting racial targets in hiring that dare to uplift black South Africans from the economic chains of apartheid. This is not principle, it is racial sabotage. Worse still, the DA winks at Cape Exit, the secessionist fever dream peddled by white nationalists yearning for a sundered Cape Republic, a neo-apartheid enclave where black voices are forever sidelined. DA leader John Steenhuisen flirts with devolution bills that fuels the fire, granting the Western Cape autonomy at the expense of national unity, a blueprint of balkanization, sponsored by apartheid nostalgics and their global enablers. Their backers are Zionist donors who pour resources into fracturing our nation, turning the Cape into a fortified outpost like the West Bank settlements. People of South Africa, beware. The DA agenda is not reform, it is recolonization. If we let them splinter Gauteng's unity through motions like this, South Africa becomes Bantustan of despair. Premier Lesufi is not perfect, but he is present, proactive, and people-centered. He leads with integrity, courage, and vision, qualities we should strengthen, not attack. When challenges arise, he takes responsibility, acts decisively. He leads among the people. Honorable Premier, thank you for standing firm in your principles and showing true leadership in protecting the integrity of the Gauteng Provincial government. Your decision does not include the DA in the GP, reflects a deep commitment to the people-centered government. Leadership is about conviction, not convenience. We commend you for refusing to be swayed by the pursuit for power through fragile collisions of desperation. History will remember that when others wavered, you stood firm for the people. As Umkhonto weSizwe, led by the chess master Hlekisa Zuma, today we say the motion dies, the struggle lives, and it grows stronger with every attempted setback. Gwaza Umkhonto, gwaza!
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. PA, Honorable Evans. Honorable Evans has free time of 3 minutes if she wants to use it. Honorable Evans, you have 3 minutes of free time if you want to use. Oh, okay. All right. Honorable. Just hold on. Right. Honorable Gauteng.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, and Honourable Members, I rise today on behalf of the Patriotic Alliance and as the MEC for Environment to make one thing very clear. We will not be supporting this motion of no confidence. This motion is not an attempt to strengthen governance. It is an exercise in political theatre. It is designed for headlines and not for the people of Gauteng. The Patriotic Alliance refuses to participate in a stunt that distracts from the real work of governing. Our position is based on principle and on direct experience inside this administration. Since joining this coalition, the Patriotic Alliance has been given the space, the authority, and the responsibility to deliver. Premier Lesufi has allowed his coalition partners the freedom to work. He has allowed us to get into communities and to fix problems instead of sitting in endless meetings talking about them. That is what a functional coalition looks like. It is leadership that empowers each partner to fulfill their mandate. This government is stable, it is focused, and it is working because every partner is given room to act. In my own portfolio, that freedom has already been produced visible progress. We have strengthened waste management and expanded clean-up operations. We have revitalized environmental enforcement across municipalities. We have built partnerships that unlock green jobs, restore damaged environments, and turn waste into economic opportunity. Communities can see the results. None of this would be possible in a government paralyzed by internal fights or political micromanagement. It is possible because this coalition allows MECs to execute and to deliver the change residents expect. Let me be honest about the motion before us today. The most laughable aspect of this attempt has to be the fact that the people who brought it have no plan for what's next. They wish to plunge our province into governance chaos, and they know that all too well. Even they do not expect to succeed today. That is the kind of empty theatrics that we have come to expect from the Democratic Alliance. We say no, and we intend to defeat this motion so that we can get back to focusing on the real work. The people of Gauteng do not want dramatic motions or political games. They want clean communities, safer environments, functioning services, and leaders who focus on solving real problems. This motion does nothing to advance those goals. It is a distraction at a time when we should all be concentrating on the urgent work that residents rely on. The Patriotic Alliance believes in governance that removes red tape and supports delivery. We believe in empowering leaders to act where communities need support the most. That is the kind of governance this coalition has made possible. It is the kind of governance that is producing results in the environmental portfolio and across this administration. Let me close with this. This motion will not succeed today because it has no substance. It is shallow, opportunistic, and disconnected from the daily realities of residents. While others look to chase cameras and controversies, this coalition is working. The Patriotic Alliance stands with the Premier, who leads a stable government, who respects his partners, and who gives us the freedom to deliver real impact. We stand with this coalition because it is functional and accountable and focused on the people of Gauteng, and that is what truly matters. Ons baie.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Botha. Honorable Mamabolo. Honorable Mamabolo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to greet the Madam Speaker, Deputy Madam Speaker, Honorable Premier, the Chief Whip, all MSCs, all honorable members, and let me also acknowledge the leadership of the Alliance that is here with us today, and of course, the people of our province. Let me convey my sympathies to honorable folks. Honorable members, let me just upfront state that this motion is poorly structured. It's badly written, it's unnecessary, it's completely irrelevant, and therefore a waste of time. The House should dismiss this motion with the contempt it deserves. The motion is opportunistically disguised and, of course, claimed to be based on the provisions of the Constitution, Section 133, on the ground of inability to perform the functions of office. This is merely intended to make it sound very relevant. The motion deliberately avoided the other grounds in the Constitution because they are fully aware that there's no institution that has made any finding against the Premier based on serious violation of the Constitution or a finding of serious misconduct. There's absolutely nothing. So what they opted to do was to engage on a motion on the ground that, of course, they've selected, but they failed to state the very functions that are there in the Constitution and the powers that they claim the Premier failed to perform or exercise in terms of the Constitution. Now, honorable members, they then crafted some about, and of course you will see from the document that has been tabled, they've got about 7 points that they stated, but when you look at them, you can clearly see that there's no, actually most of these points are shared responsibilities with all of us, even in this house. I've had mayors, everything. Now the question is, why does the DA choose all these issues that are shared responsibilities of all of us to base them and direct them to the Premier alone? That's the question that we need to find out. Secondly, it is very much important that we indicate, honourable members, that the DA has not provided any shred of evidence on what they call inability to perform functions. All what we have here is a motion that is based on deep-seated personal hatred of the Premier. That's what this motion is all about, because they can't provide any shred of evidence to back up the claims that they are making. So on that basis, we are therefore left with having to wonder, why will the DA bring a motion that seeks to scapegoat, isolate, and construct what could be called an axis of devil just on the Premier alone? That's what we need to understand. And I'd like to say to this House that when you play in the space of scapegoating, of targeting, of isolating, of personalizing collective issues and broader societal issues, you are playing in the space of an ideological political tendency that is called fascism. Because you are scapegoating the Premier for matters that have got to do really with all of us, and why single him out? And I would like to say to the DA that what you are doing plays into an extremely dangerous space. And I think would like to ask the DA to refrain from doing that, because you cannot say just the Premier alone. Remember that the leader of the DA scapegoated the Premier and the traffic wardens and insulted them. That is what Karl Marx would have called a tragedy. Today they are repeating it, but as a farce, again, showing personal hatred against the Premier, but brought in through a motion in the House. What we are dealing with here is neo-fascism, but nothing else. Single out, remove permanently from political space, liquidate the Premier alone. That is an extremely dangerous tendency. We must not bring personal matters of hatred to this House. Let us deal with the fundamental questions. So I would like to conclude by saying, honourable members, this motion should be rejected and should be dismissed, because we cannot be brought into a neo-fascist project that seeks to scapegoat, isolate, and condemn. I've heard members say that the DA is associated with apartheid, with white supremacy. Those are the tendencies of fascism. But I've also heard that the DA has some liberal claims. So you can clearly see that the old fascist tendencies in the DA are refusing to die. And the new claims to liberalism are not yet born. So the DA is on the crossroad ideologically. They can go deep into neo-fascism, or they can at least, as if neoliberalism is even better. It's not even better, but they can take another dimension. So I just want to say to honourable members, let us reject this motion. Let us not be co-opted into a neo-fascist agenda. Premier, we have our support, and thank you very much, honourable members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honourable Mamabulo. Honourable Engelbrecht.
Honourable Speaker, I rise today as a voice
members.
for the teachers, parents, learners and unemployed youth of Gauteng who feel betrayed. Under Premier Lesufi's leadership, Gauteng's education system is collapsing due to mismanagement of funds. Classrooms are overcrowded, educators demoralised, and learners are left stranded in a system that promised opportunities but now delivers only frustration. The recent decision to, without prior notice, cut funding from quintile 4 and 5 schools has plunged schools into financial chaos. Governing bodies were informed after budgets and fees had been set. Now schools are being forced to cut teachers, coaches and support staff, or raise fees from struggling parents. Every one of these losses is a job lost and a learner left behind. Yet the Premier responds, we are aligning to national norms. Funds are simply being rationalised. But alignment without traditional support is an abdication of responsibility. We have repeatedly raised the alarm bells about conditions at learners with special educational needs or LSEN schools. Civil society has taken the department to court for human rights violations at Philadelphia Secondary School following allegations ranging from neglect to a shortage of teachers with Braille and sign language skills. Now, while the department issues glossy presentations, our on-the-ground oversight at Samsung and Ezibeleni LSEN schools show a painful gap between promises and reality. Our vulnerable children are paying the price. They are not just numbers. They are children with dreams, and the system has failed them. Yet the Premier's response, we are investing in special schools. But if parents are in court and oversight finds neglect, there is no investment. You see, Chief Whip, there is no sign of that madness associated with change. Perhaps the most blatant example of Lesufi's failed leadership is the 431 million defrauding scandal
Honourable Speaker.
that took place.
Honourable Engelbrecht, just hold on.
Honourable Speaker, I think there's a problem of relevance. I think the honourable member thinks we are debating the annual report on education. It's not in the motion. I think maybe let's try to remind them where we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Chief Whip. Honourable Engelbrecht, please refer to the Premier as Honourable Premier.
Perhaps the most blatant example of Lesufi's failed leadership is the
Honourable Engelbrecht, just hold on.
$431 million
No. Honourable Engelbrecht. Honourable Mfikwe, just hold on, please. Honourable Engelbrecht, I don't want to read the rules to you. You know that you are supposed to refer to the Premier as the Honourable Premier or Member Lesufi. So please, I don't want to repeat that. Proceed.
The 431 million defogging scandal that took place under his watch as the Education MEC. In 2020, 270 companies, many with names like Bookshop and Payroll, were handed massive contracts up to 55 million rand for COVID cleaning. Neither the National Health or Education departments ever required defogging, yet the Premier's department pushed ahead. The Auditor General declared these deals a material irregularity, meaning there was likely fraud, theft, or breach of fiduciary duty. 4 years later, no one has been held accountable. And the Premier, he claimed ignorance. A Premier who claims to have been unaware that nearly R500 million vanished from his department should not be leading this province. Chief Whip, we don't have to look for faults. They are obvious to all. Speaker, Gauteng cannot build the jobs of tomorrow while breaking the classrooms of today. Premier Lesufi has had the power and the platform, and you have failed us. For the sake of our children, our teachers, and the thousands of jobs Gauteng should have been creating, I ask this House to support this motion of no confidence.
Well done.
Honourable members, I just want to read Rule 87, subsection C. Members may not refer to any other member by that member's first name or names only. Honourable Engelbrecht, I called you to order twice. Please, respect the rules. Honourable Adams.
Good morning, Honourable Speaker. Condolences, Honourable Fuchs. Am I a coward? Am I a weak leader? Am I clueless in politics? Am I stupid? Am I anyone's lackey? Am I easily influenced? To all the above, I say a big no. I'm a leader that knows how to read situations. I'm a leader who understands timing. I'm a leader who has learned not to fight battles that has the propensity to make me and the party that I represent the victim and a sacrificial lamb. As a leader, I am not going to be a suicide bomber in this motion of no confidence. This explanatory statement, Honourable Speaker, is submitted for the record to ensure that my decision is not misinterpreted as either political defection or ideological compromise, but understood as a conscientious act in fulfillment of my constitutional and legislative duties to ensure governance stability and prevent administrative paralysis, to safeguard the ACDB's oversight influence within the provincial legislature, and to uphold the Constitution and the rule of law by acting in broader public interest as required by my oath of office. The ACDB on various occasions upheld the principle that governance must continue responsibly and that institutional stability serves the greater public good. Consistent with this approach, the party has supported national and provincial budgets and appropriation measures which such support safeguard service delivery and responsible fiscal management. Madam Speaker, in the present context, the motion of no confidence in Gauteng and the Premier has not gained sufficient traction to effect meaningful change in the administration. In closing, Honourable Speaker, it is through this position that the party demonstrates its enduring and ensuring commitment to godly governance and to fighting for the moral and spiritual soul of Gauteng, ensuring that governance remains principled, balanced and rooted in service delivery. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Adams. Honourable Dlamini.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, leaders of all political parties. The IFP, my heartfelt condolences to you, Honourable folks. The IFP respects the rights of all parties to politics as they wish, but they must not expect the IFP to willingly join. But our biggest worry in this motion is the aftermath of it, if it succeeds. If there are problems as listed here, why then create a bigger problem? Because you know, given the dynamics of this House, it will take this province 2 to 3 months to form a government. Do we want to put the province into that problem? So the IFP therefore cannot be part of really putting the crisis in our province. As the party, we always said that where the IFP exists, we are here to make sure that there is service delivery, there is stability. Therefore, we cannot be part. Not that we don't agree with issues raised, but we cannot be part of plunging this province into deeper crisis of not having a government. Thank you.
Okay. Speaker, Honourable Masuku, thank you very much, Honourable Dlamini. Honourable Masuku.
Speaker,
Rule 77.
Rule 77, Speaker. A question to the previous speaker, if you will be able to take it.
A question to?
The previous speaker who just spoke now.
Honourable Dlamini, do you want? Yeah, he says yes.
So the question, Speaker, will therefore be that history teaches us that the AFP has always been a collaborator and collaborated with white supremacy. If the IFP now were not part of this government, were they going to support this motion or were they going to reject it?
Honourable Dlamini. Thank you, Honourable Makwala.
Honourable Speaker, it is not new for the IFP to be part of government. We were part of government in 1994 of national unity. We are part of government of provincial unity in KZN first before it happened in Gauteng. Therefore, we are here on the basis of principle. Secondly, the IFP has never been collaborators. It is the lie that you were told by the ANC, which they are correcting now. Thank you very much.
Okay, honourable members, let's hear Honourable Masuku. Honourable Masuku.
Honourable Speaker, members of the House, the citizens of Gauteng, we rise today not just to oppose this motion of no confidence in Premier Panyaza Lesufi. We rise to defend reason, innovation, and responsibility. This motion is not only legally unsound, but also politically opportunistic and intellectually dishonest. Frankly, it reads like something drafted on the boot of a car or scribbled in a pub. It lacks substance, coherence, and constitutional merit. Section 130, subsection 3 of the Constitution allows for the removal of the Premier only when they are unable to perform the functions of the office. This motion fails particularly to demonstrate such incapacity. Crime prevention wardens, known as Panyaza, maybe is the problem of the wedding. But it was not going to sound well if it were called Ama Moriarty or Ama Msimang. The crime prevention wardens were established to address the urgent need for visible policing in Gauteng. According to the Public Protector's report, the initiative was intended to enhance policing capacity in the province facing high crime levels. Yes, the report flagged the initial deployment for lacking formal legal framework, but it did not condemn the initiative. Instead, it called for its regularization, directing that corrective action should be taken within 180 days to ensure that CPWs are lawful appointed as traffic wardens under the National Road Traffic Act. Between May and September 2023, the wardens participated in over 51,000 police operations, arrests, searches, and patrols. This is not symbolic, it's substantive and it's impactful. Premier Lesufi responded with leadership. He announced phased reconfiguration, stating, the rollout of traffic wardens have followed meticulous legal compliance sequence to ensure professionalism and accountability. Panyaza is part of a broader safety strategy, including panic buttons for vulnerable communities, drone surveillance, the air wing support, and expanded coverage of CCTV of the province. Honorable members, this motion is not about ethics. It's not about constitutional violation. It is a political theater, desperate attempt to undermine the Premier, who's doing a hard work of rebuilding public trust and safety. Motions should be based on governance failures, not political scoring. DA approach risks of eroding public trust and diverting focus from service delivery. Oversight is critical, but constructive engagement is more effective than repeated motions. Let us reject this motion because it is unfounded, it's unprincipled, and it's unworthy of this House to debate. We oppose it. We urge all members to do the same, including those who are from the DA, particularly the African members of the DA. We are all extinct species there. They are going to replace you one by one. It's coming for you, Shabalala. It's coming for you, former Deputy Speaker, Member Ntseke. They are coming for you. And please be aware that racism is a problem and is a disease. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Masuku. Members of the public in the gallery. Ke kopa o le gopotsa tle. Ga la dumella go tseya party in the house. Ka boikokobetso, ka kopo, ka tlhompho. A re dumellaneng bagolo. Ke a leboga. Honorable Chabalala.
Solim Simbang, do not be discouraged.
Honorable Chabalala, I just read out Rule 87. It applies to the members of your party as well. Proceed.
Member Msimanga, do not be discouraged by shallowness, lack of intellectual and emotional depth displayed in this House. History will absolve you. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I come before you today urging you to show the people of Gauteng and South Africa
what accountability looks like by supporting this motion of no confidence in Premier Panyaza Lesufi. This is a Premier who has betrayed the hopes of Gauteng residents, failed to act in moment of crisis, and abandoned the people of Zdibeng, especially in the ANC-run Mfuleni and Lesedi municipality. The severe collapse of service delivery because of maladministration, corruption, and financial mismanagement has brought immense suffering on the residents of this municipality. In May 2024, the residents of Gauteng sent a clear message that they no longer have confidence in your leadership. Premier, the ANC's declining support in the province was a clear indication that the people of Gauteng have had enough of your failed leadership. Mfuleni has collapsed. For years, some of the residents have been without electricity because of broken transformers that the Premier promised to replace by March 2024. The deadline has passed without action. Our petitions and letters asking for interventions have fallen on deaf ears. Our municipality remains littered with potholes and safe roads. The province pledged to fix 40 roads in Mfuleni. However, contracts were given to comrades and friends with no capacity or skills. This is evidence as the roads collapse month after being repaired. Mfuleni residents are left dodging potholes deep enough to swallow a small car. Financially, the municipality is drowning in debt. Over 8 billion is owed to ESCOM, and the province has failed to intervene meaningfully. Worse still, Mfuleni returned 636 million unspent of the municipal infrastructure grants, money meant for roads, water, and sanitation projects. With residents choke on sewer and live without electricity, the Premier's government sends its development money way back to Treasury. This is despite Mfuleni having one operational truck for the entire one operational fire truck for the entire municipality. The rest are out of service, unlicensed, unmaintained, and some are parked for months without tires or renewed disc. Governance in Citybend District Municipality has collapsed under your watch. The missing mayoral chain worth 465,000 vanished after 2023 State of the District address. There have been no address, no accountability. When the matter resurfaced again in August, Gauteng SAPS closed the investigation with no resolution, another symbol of lack of accountability under your administration. Then came a scandal involving Lerato Maloka, who was angry at receiving the wrong model of a Mercedes-Benz of an official car and allegedly poured a sugar into the petrol tank in protest, an act that embarrassed this province and showed utter disregard for taxpayers. And yet the madman, as Lesufi said, Lesufi chose to
just hold on. Honorable Chabalala, Honorable, no, do not push.
The Honorable Chief Whip, sorry. Okay. And yet, the madman, as the Honorable Chief Whip said, chose not to act. Instead, he influenced ANC councillors to reinstate the mayor, despite having lost the confidence of council members, prioritizing
okay, your
party
time
politics.
is up, Honorable Chabalala. Thank you.
Sorry?
Okay. Your time is up, Honorable Chabalala. Thank you very much.
But
Honorable
you stopped me
Makwala.
so many times.
Your time is up. Over to debate alumna. Honorable Makwala. Remember, Honorable Koma spoke replacing Honorable Maloka. So you have 6 minutes that you have not used. As the EFF, he's going to do that. Oh, okay. Honorable Makwala.
Thank you very much, Speaker. One of the most enduring legacies of coloniality, which differs from colonization, coloniality refers to the persistence of system, ideas, and attitudes that survive long after colonial rule ended. Among its most damaging effects is white supremacy. White supremacy is not just overt racism. It shapes daily life. It determines who is heard, believed, and seen as legitimate. When a white person speaks, society listens. But when black people and colored voices raise the same issues, they are ignored. Madam Speaker, this is exactly what the economic freedom fighters is believing is happening today. The Democratic Alliance is repeating what the EFF has been saying since 2023. Yet, because of the prevailing system of white supremacy, which is sustained by institutional power, such as the media, the DA's narrative now dominates, erasing the EFF's consistent and long-standing position, where we have consistently demanded a strategy rooted in lived Black Township realities, not in glossy press briefings, ribbon-cutting ceremonies, and empty electioneering stunts. Madam Speaker, today's debate must be located precisely where it belongs, with the historical and ongoing architecture of white privilege, which continues to shape who is protected, who is neglected, and who is sacrificed in this province. They want every black formation in this house to be co-opted into performing gratitude for crumbs, while blaming each other for the structural failures created by the very forces of white economic and political domination. This is a political theater and remains a political theater, a staged performance, a mockery of the working class. We are concerned, Speaker, that the DA today wants to behave or act as holier than thou or a messiah, when it was the very DA that refused to problematize the problems of the crime prevention wardens when it benefited their arrangement. The DA was silent when the EFF spoke loudly about Mapanyapanya. It was the DA that accepted the Deputy Speaker position, even when they voted for the Premier, even when they negotiated for MEC seats. That's the reason when the EFF comes to this sitting today saying, Izolobe kumnandi and namhlanje kuyanyiwa. For over 2 years, it has been the EFF who were Mapanyapanya's loudest critics. We questioned their legality and purpose of crime prevention wardens and the centralization of community safety department under the Premier. We submitted statements, raised questions, and exposed Mapanyapanya's reckless conduct. Madam Speaker, what we have before us today here is a political disaster, a betrayal, a misdirection of public funds that should have fortified existing police stations, strengthened community policing forums, built victim empowerment units, and fortified the front lines of township safety. When wardens terrorized poor communities and acted as a vigilante group, it was the EFF that stood loud and boldly. And maybe we must also take this opportunity to pose questions to the Action SA of Member Mashaba or Honorable Ngobeni, that where were they in 2023 when the EFF was removed or fought called securities in Nazareth by the Premier and the ANC? Where was this Action SA in Pretoria when we were calling for the same Mapanyapanya to be removed in their system? Where was the DA when the Commander-in-Chief and the President of the EFF raised the same issue of Mapanyapanya in the stadium publicly so? It is against this backdrop, Madam Speaker, that we open this motion of debate, a white privileged debate, a motion of no confidence against the Premier. A debate that directly affects the lives of over 15 million Gauteng residents. According to Stats South Africa, youth unemployment in Gauteng for 25 to 34-year-olds stands at 43.2%, meaning almost 1 in 2 young people are jobless. The EFF is thus uninterested in populist posturing that fails to address the material conditions of our people. Madam Speaker, allow us a moment to historically reflect that on the 27th of July 2013, the EFF was formed to wage the struggle for total economic emancipation. From inception, we diagnosed that the state's failure to uplift the black majority 12 years ago, we foresaw that the ANC's decline and the inevitable rise in poverty, unemployment, and crime. The EFF, Premier Lesufi, draws strength from the gallant fighters like Winnie Mandela, Chief of Staff Christiani, and the forever Defiance Force, the Lion of Midlands, Herigwa, leaders who paid dearly for their defense. Hani, Chief of Staff, was assassinated, while Winnie and Gwala were sidelined for their principled pursuit of radical economic transformation. It is on their shoulders that we stand, and guided by their uncompromising commitment to justice. We must say that, Speaker, under Premier Lesufi, the Department of Health incurred 2.7 billion in irregular expenditure and 17 million in fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Suppliers went unpaid and the department lost more than 4 billion in accuracy. Hospitals like George Mukari and Christian Baragwana face crippling staff and laundry shortages. Doctors even went on strike over unpaid wages. The department also failed to spend 784 million meant for cancer patients, leaving thousands waiting for life-saving treatment and hundreds dead due to stage negligence. All this fails on the Premier as the political head. The Premier parades programs like Tswada, built on lies as the province has limited rehab capacities. Under his watch, funds flow to political connected organizations like Tsakani Old Age Home, while honest, compliant NPOs are collapsing. The unreleased NPO adjudication report alone exposes this administration's total lack of accountability. Food parcels have been delayed for the past 2 terms, while families go hungry. Even sanitary towel distribution is not efficient. However, Speaker, it must also be asked, or what does the DA truly offer to the people of Gauteng? They oppose every meaningful intervention from a state-run food bank to a state-led construction company to fast-track over 278 stalled infrastructure. Madam Speaker, with peace, can the woman
to protect
of the,
you.
With peace, can
I
the woman
really
of the
do need
ANC
to protect you. Just hold on, honourable members.
We're not in a shebeen. Please tell her that we're not in a shebeen. However, Speaker, the EFF has tabled real solutions through motion to curb schools violence and call to the Department of Infrastructure Development to develop state capacity, and instead of paying 34 million a month on renting office spaces. We wish to remind the House again that the Premier in his maiden sopa vowed to honor the legacy of Amasatehe. Yet in Adrejville, where Emma originates from, residents of Sosville hostels still live in deplorable conditions. Only 6 GPG-owned hostels are prioritized, while the rest of the hostels in Gauteng remain uninhabitable. The Department of Women Settlements continues to miss land release and informal settlement upgrading targets, leaving thousands landless and without dignity. We wish, Madam Speaker, to make it categorically clear that before this motion, the DA never sought meaningful engagement with the EFF to strengthen accountability in this legislature. They were silent when EFF members of this legislature were assaulted by security personnel on the orders of the MEC of Health during hospital oversight visit, while their own MPLs enjoyed free access to hospitals under the very system of white privilege that we are referring to. The DA has shown no interest in addressing Gauteng's 1.2 million housing backlog. The formalization of informal settlements, school overcrowding, crumbling infrastructure in township schools, or the existence of racial exclusive spaces like Clenfontaine. The EFF's dissatisfaction with Premier Lesufi is just principled and justified. We demand accountability. The Premier must fix the crisis he created, starting by removing the Department of Community Safety from his office and appointing a dedicated MEC of Community Service. This point is important, Premier. It's important, this point. But also, Speaker, the EFF, in conclusion, will not want to be used or want to collaborate with a party that has publicly insulted us, went to America and Washington and called us names, called us demagogues, and wanted and even said that we are the enemy of the government or the enemy of the state. Today here, because the DA feels like they need support from the EFF, they want to bribe us and lobby us by any means necessary. We want to say to the DA, we are not coming to their politics.
Okay. Honorable Miso. Okay, honorable members. Honorable Miso.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Miso, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The motion brought by the DA today is not simply a motion of no confidence. It is a modern-day coup d'etat. It is an attempt to force the Premier of Gauteng to include the DA in the government of Gauteng of provincial unity through the back door. As Umkhonto Wesizwe, we are here to make sure that that doesn't see the day. It is the desperate attempt by DA to have power. It failed to win it through the ballot box. Furthermore, this motion is an attack on unemployment young people in Gauteng, most of whom are vulnerable, unemployed black majority. It is a pure hypocrisy for the DA in Gauteng to table a motion against Premier, who is visibly and consistently working hard for the people of this province. Ungumabizwa sabele, This hypocrisy is further exposed by the following. The DA is fundamentally opposed to the expropriation of land without compensation, claiming it is unconstitutional and harmful to the economy. Yet the land reform is central to Umkhonto weSizwe party vision, as it is the only way to restore the dignity to the black people whose land and minerals were forcefully taken by colonial settlers. The DA governs one of the most crime-ridden provinces in the country, with no effect strategy to protect communities from gangsterism, a community from Gugulethu and Kayelisha. If any premier deserves a motion of no confidence, it is certainly the premier of the Western Cape. Gang-related killings remain one of the most severe safety crises in South Africa. In 2024-2025, the Western Cape recorded 4,467 murders, of which 882 were gang-related. The province, despite having less than 12% of the national population, accounts for nearly 90% of the country's gang-related murders. The DA motion is rooted in self-importance and entitlement, demanding to lead a province they were not elected to lead. Madam Speaker, it was the DA that seconded the election of Premier, precisely because they understand that he is capable of doing that, and we want to thank the DA for so doing. This is sudden reversal is fueled purely by their exclusion from the government of provincial unity, a passion they believe it is their birthright. The DA has offered no meaningful contribution to fight crime in Gauteng. Their legacy of separate development continues to manifest in the crime level and inequality seen in municipalities that institution under their governance. As Umkhonto weSizwe representing thousands of voters in province, we assert that DA anger is misled. Madam Speaker, enemy of our people is an economy still dominated by a small white capital established, which the DA represent and defend each day. The people's struggle remains the land still concentrated in the hands of privileged minority. The people of Gauteng wants job, safety and security. This is exactly what the Premier has prioritizing. Madam Speaker, as Umkhonto weSizwe, we support the reskilling and reintegration of Amapanyapanya into fully qualified provincial traffic officers. However, we are saying as Umkhonto weSizwe that the correct process must be followed. Their presence has played a significant role in reducing crime across Gauteng.
Honorable
As Umkhonto weSizwe family continue to support the Premier of Gauteng, we reject this frivolous motion of no confidence by DA.
Honorable Miso, your time is up. Honorable Lamukuba.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier and members of the House, today we are not here to debate good governance. We are witnessing desperation disguised as democracy. This motion by the Democratic Alliance is not about accountability. It's about political theatrics. It is a selfish, reckless attempt to destabilize the Gauteng province at a time when our province needs stability and progress. Let us be clear. Rise Mzansi stands firmly for accountability, but we reject chaos. We stand for clean governance, but we reject opportunism. We stand for the people of Gauteng, and we refuse to be co-opted into the DA's motion of nonsensicalness. The DA's motion has no roadmap, no plan, and no prospects of success. At a time when Gauteng is preparing to take the global stage as host of the G20 in a week, the DA chooses to attempt to collapse this government of Gauteng instead of offering leadership. They choose instability instead of service. They choose to waste our time and the time of our citizens to score cheap political points. Let us call this motion what it is, Honourable Speaker. It is a selfish, opportunistic attempt to collapse the Gauteng government for narrow political gain. The DA has no plan for leadership and no vision for the future of this province and no regard for the millions of the residents of Gauteng. Let me also make it clear that Rise Mzansi supports the Public Protector's recommendations on the crime prevention wardens. We support accountability. We support prosecution where there has been wrongdoing. And we demand transparency from all leaders, including the Honourable Premier. And that is how real accountability works, through process, not political stunts. Gauteng does not need politicians who thrive on conflict. It needs leaders who build. Gauteng deserves leadership that is responsible, mature, and focused on rebuilding, not destroying and dividing. Rise Mzansi rejects the DA's attempts to manufacture chaos and collapse yet another government, because we know that this motion is not about building Gauteng, it is about breaking Gauteng. To the people of this province, we hear you, we see the challenges you face, and unlike those who thrive on crisis, we, Rise Mzansi, are committed to doing the real work of rebuilding and restoring the growth of this province. The DA's motion is opportunistic, it is reckless, it is irresponsible. Gauteng deserves better leadership. Let me close with some wise words from the late Dr. Mageu. Batho ba mona never baloke. Le ka se loke. The government of Gauteng will continue to rise, and this motion will not pass. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the members of this House.
Okay, thank you very much, Honourable Ramokgopa. Honourable Ali is online. Honourable Ali.
Good afternoon, Honourable Speaker. Can I just double check if I'm audible?
Okay. Honourable members, Honourable Ali is online. Proceed,
Thank you so
Honourable
much.
Ali.
I just want to double check, Honourable Speaker. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to yourself and to the honourable members in the House. Honourable Speaker, I'm going to cut to the chase. BOSA will not support the DA's motion of no confidence in Premier Lesufi. We view this motion as nothing more than a political gimmick that's designed to grab headlines rather than deliver solutions. This is the same DA that not only a year ago seconded the election of Lesufi as Premier, but they also negotiated for positions. So they're sudden about turn in the face of their own lack of success. Honourable Speaker.
Please do refer to the Premier as Honourable Premier or Member Lesufi.
I will do so. Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. As I was saying, the same Democratic Alliance seconded the election of Honourable Lesufi as Premier. Their sudden about turn in the face of their own lack of success in the province speaks to opportunism and short-term politicking. It is unclear how this motion will benefit the residents of Gauteng. The motion offers no credible alternatives. It offers no phased approach. It has no plan of what will follow. It's just vibes, Honourable Speaker. We will not be part of their political point scoring. We will not be part of their mockery of governance. Government is very complex. Stability is the backbone of effective administration. The Democratic Alliance, along with other parties, have already played a role in the revolving door of mayors in Johannesburg. So we simply cannot allow them to inflict the same instability on this here great province. If the DA truly intends to remove the ANC's premier in Gauteng, it must clarify its own position in the government of national unity. If the DA remains a partner in the GNU, then this motion against one of their own governing partners can only be described as frivolous and hypocritical. If they are no longer part of the GNU, then they must make that position clear and withdraw from their national arrangements with the ANC. However, Madam Speaker, it's very important for us to underscore that our decision should not be misunderstood as outright support for Premier Panyaza Lesufi. On the contrary, we strongly believe that the Premier has been found wanting on many fronts, and he indeed has plenty to answer to. However, we are of the view that this motion has nothing to do with Premier Lesufi's leadership or lack thereof, let alone the residents of Gauteng and the delivery of services. Instead, this motion is centered around the DA's selfish ambition and vain pursuits. We will not be party to their conceitedness. BOSA will not be part of this frivolous, ill-conceived motion that shows no evidence of applied minds or political forethought. South Africans deserve constructive opposition that is rooted in ideas. We will therefore not support this motion. Madam Speaker, sicela nisive kakuhle thina iBuild One South Africa CTDA.
Honorable Ali, your time is up. Thank you. Honorable Diakhar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Gauteng is burning. Communities are under siege from criminals. Infrastructure is collapsing, and confidence in this provincial government has evaporated. Our residents are tired of slogans and stunts while their lives and livelihoods are being destroyed. Premier Lesufi and his administration has become a theatre of chaos, obsessed with appearances, allergic to accountability, and driven by unlawful experiments disguised as innovation. The recent Public Protector's report into Panyaza wardens confirms that the Premier acted outside the law and wasted public funds on a vanity project that has not delivered safety or stability. The creation of an untrained, unregulated and unconstitutional security force was never about fighting crime, but about fighting elections. While the Premier played Commander-in-Chief for the cameras, the real guardians of safety, SAPs, Metro Police and community policing forums, were left to struggle with resources and collapsing morale. Instead of strengthening the Department of Community Safety, he collapsed it into his own office, eroding oversight to build his own empire at the expense of public safety. Meanwhile, crime continues to spiral. Armed robberies, hijackings, business break-ins, gender-based violence, cable theft, all that has become daily realities. Women and children are unsafe in their homes and in schools, while businesses are closing under the weight of lawlessness. The facts are stark. Gauteng recorded 1,439 murders in the fourth quarter of the 24-25 financial year, contributing to 25.1% of all murders nationally. Rape, sexual offences all remain among the highest in the country. The GCRO 23-24 Quality of Life Survey shows that 48% of residents believe that crime is worsening, and that is up from 43% in 2020-2021. While the satisfaction with safety services has plummeted to 23%. The DA's own anti-crime campaign, we went out to visit most of the province's 144 police stations. It revealed critical challenges of dilapidated infrastructure, inadequate staffing, dysfunctional holding cell, insufficient vehicles, and deteriorating operational conditions. Stations such as Acacia, Mohlakeng, Cleveland, Katlehong, Zonkisiswe, and Kempton Park confirmed the direct link between failing resources and the province's inability to deter criminal behaviour. Despite repeated warnings, the Premier pressed ahead with this Panyaza program. Today it is collapsing under its own illegality, with even the RTMC unable to retrain wardens due to unresolved legal and operational flaws. While critical infrastructure like substations, water plants, bridges, streetlights, transformers, and copper lines are being vandalized by criminal syndicates, the economic sabotage is costing this province billions, crippling service delivery. Hospitals, clinics, and schools are left vulnerable while your government looks the other way. A government that cannot safeguard infrastructure or uphold the law, cannot deliver services, and cannot claim legitimacy. Speaker, The Democratic Alliance stands for professional policing, transparent governance, and the rule of law. Safety is built on competence, not on theatrics.
Your time is
Premier
up.
Lesufi, you have betrayed the trust of the
Your
people
time
of
is up,
Gauteng.
Honourable
We do
Diakar.
not support and history will judge all of
Honourable
you in the
Diakar,
process.
stop on my
Thank
behalf.
you.
Okay. Okay. Honourable members, I now call on Honourable Maile to debate. Honourable Maile.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Yes,
will I get the 4 minutes? Thank you very much. Honourable Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Honourable Premier, colleagues in the Executive Council, Honourable members of the House, leaders of all political parties, leaders of business, labour and civil society, residents of Gauteng, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to stand before you this morning, or rather this afternoon, in this august House where we are gathered. The people of Gauteng expect nothing less than constructive deliberations. They expect that when their elected officials converge in this House, it is for the purpose of discussing ideas and constructing solutions that improve their standard of living and strengthen their communities. The people of Gauteng do not expect and should not expect that we will gather in this august House to play politics with their lives. There is an accepted narrative that permeates in South Africa that Gauteng is a dysfunctional province. This narrative, conveniently amplified by those who wish to see the province collapse so that they can affirm their prejudice about the face of governance in our country, has been effective in great part because it is often left unchallenged. When it is held up to scrutiny, its flimsy logic of collapses, its flimsy logic collapses, not only because it is not an honest reflection of where we are, but because it is born out of malicious intent. And history has demonstrated repeatedly that malice, even if it thrives in the immediate, eventually collapses under the weight of its own contradictions. Honourable members, there are some who would have us believe that the government of Gauteng must be eradicated because they claim it is inept and incapable. But while people have a right to their own opinions, they do not have a right to their own facts. And if we must engage with either opinions or facts when we deliberate on the fate of the wealthiest province in sub-Saharan Africa, we should always choose the latter. We should choose facts because they provide a depth of reflection and context. Let us begin with facts that are not in dispute, Honourable Speaker. Gauteng is the smallest of South Africa's 9 provinces, with a total area of just over 18,000 square kilometers. But within its boundaries, it accommodates more than a quarter of the country's population as the most industrialized province in sub-Saharan Africa. It is the nerve center of the regional economy, contributing 34% of South Africa's gross domestic product and 7% of the continent's entire economy. These statistics matter because they provide a glimpse into the complexity of its governance. Governing a province of such great historical, geographical, and economic significance is not a task for simple-minded people to whom governance is mere political power. It requires an appreciation of where we come from as a country, where we are today, and the heavy burden of leading the creation of a future that benefits not only the residents of the province, but those of the entire continental region. It is true that Gauteng is confronted with significant challenges. These are a reflection of a history that many want to treat as insignificant, even as it continues to shape the spatiality, economy, and socio-economic realities of the province. It is not an accident of history that this province, the smallest by land area, is home to 16.1 million people, representing more than 26% of the total population of our country. As the economic nerve center of South Africa, it is here where millions of people from South Africa and beyond come to build their lives. The pull factors of Gauteng includes relatively better economic opportunities for individuals and businesses alike, a concentration of foreign diplomatic missions that provides a gateway to global access, a post-productivist economy that reflects an advanced and modern province, and a dynamic and inclusive culture that makes the province a home for all. But with this comes challenges that metropolis in developing nations are confronted with, particularly those with a history steeped in racialized structural inequalities. In Gauteng, we bear the brunt of infrastructure that is insufficient to cater to a population that is the fastest growing in the country. We bear the brunt of higher levels of unemployment, as well as internal and external migration, because skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled people converge in this one small province to pursue a better economic opportunities. The unique demographic character of our province means we also bear the brunt of high levels of crime, particularly economic crimes, that are a function of complex factors that includes unemployment and inequalities. We have never sought to downplay these challenges, nor have we ever pretended that they are easy to resolve. The solutions that we are continuously developing are crafted within the context of competing priorities and a national economy that is not immune from global shocks and geopolitical tensions. It is for this reason that the key priorities of the 7th administration has been revenue generation. We set ourselves a target of generating 800 billion in investment alone within this political term of office, because we recognize that this is the generation it is the generation of revenue that will alleviate some of our more pressing challenges. In just a year, we have managed to secure an investment pledges of over 300 billion. The Gauteng Provincial Government, in partnership with the private sector, has been hard at work converting these pledges into direct investments into our infrastructure projects. The results speak for themselves, and are evidenced in the recently published Gauteng Labour Market Performance Report for the 3rd quarter of 2025. Gauteng has achieved its 18th quarter of sustained employment growth out of the past 20, reaching an all-time high of 5.24 million employed persons who reside in Gauteng. Over the past year, the province created 200,000 new jobs, representing 70% of all national employment gains. We added 50,800 jobs in the last quarter alone. What is especially significant is that of these jobs, 95,300 were created in non-metropolitan areas of Gauteng. This area of the province, or rather areas, recorded the largest job increases and marked the highest proportional gain in the province. This was made possible by the provincial government's intentional approach of decentralizing wealth from the metros to ensure the spatial diffusion of employment into peri-urban and secondary towns. Equally significant is that Gauteng's job gains were led by infrastructure-linked sectors, financial services and logistics. This indicates two important points. The first point is that Gauteng continues to have the most broad-based labor market in South Africa. The second point is that the province is growth-orientated. That infrastructure-linked sectors are the biggest employers, reflects an economy that is geared towards meeting the current and future needs of the residents and businesses in our province. Honorable members, the economy is not the only area where progress is being recorded. It is often said that dysfunctional systems ultimately suffocate functional things. The appreciation of this fact is why we in the Gauteng Provincial Government are investing significantly in strengthening systems of our governance. Over the past few months, we have been strengthening mechanisms for accountability in our departments and entities. The Premier has officially suspended key officials who are involved in maladministration, misappropriation of funds, and corruption. Within the departments and entities, this separation of wheat from chaff is also ongoing. Those who seek to suggest that consequence management is non-existent in Gauteng are intentionally refusing to acknowledge the giant leaps that we are making in strengthening good governance in this province. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to conclude by stating that for the Gauteng Provincial Government, good governance, which is characterized by key principles such as transparency, accountability, participation, responsiveness, fairness, and adherence to the rule of law, goes further. It extends to inclusion. We do not, we do not govern through exclusion, where only those with means benefit from development. This is the blueprint of the Democratic Alliance. We have evidenced in Tshwane, in Johannesburg, and even as far afield as Cape Town, that where the DA leads, it governs for the few at the expense of many. The collapse of governance in these areas under the DA was laid bare for the country to see. The administrative capital of our country was brought to its knees under the DA-led government, receiving repeated qualified audit opinions from the Auditor General, accumulating a significant deficit and having municipal debt to Eskom ballooning to over 6.83 billion. Cape Town, the DA's crown jewel of alleged good governance, is often touted as the best-run metro in South Africa. And on paper it is. But while the city performs well in financial governance measures, listen to this, honorable members, data from 2011 to 2022 shows that it was the worst performing metro in expanding access to basic services like refuse removal, piped water, electricity, and flush toilets for residents in townships and informal settlements. The metrics that are prioritized by the DA are not what a progressive government should center its development agenda. This is why in the Gauteng Provincial Government, we reject them in favor of economic inclusivity, addressing structural inequalities, and extending service provision to the most underdeveloped regions. This is why in Gauteng, our non-metropolitan areas have recorded the highest employment creation. It is because we govern where it is because we govern where tourists do not go, but where our people live. We do not hide our people in informal settlements that lack the most basic amenities, like it is the case in the Cape Flats. We bring them into the economy where they are visible and active. We fight crime where it affects our poorest residents, not just where it is where it inconveniences tourists. It is easy to govern when your priority is a small section of the population. In Gauteng, where we govern as a progressive government of provincial unity, our priority is to govern for all, with an unapologetic bias towards the most vulnerable and marginalized sections of our populace. We govern where it is hard. We govern where the problems are far more complex and where centuries of separate development have left structural inequalities. We govern where people's most pressing needs are basic necessities rather than luxuries. We govern under difficult circumstances, but govern we do. Data and facts are the evidence. Madam Deputy Speaker, let me now turn into, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Let me now deal with some few issues. The first issue that I want to deal with, which members of the opposition have been raising, especially the Democratic Alliance. Policing is not a provincial competence. So that's the first important thing. However, the difference between Gauteng government and Western Cape government is that Western Cape government is obsessed with power and control. Instead of fighting crime, they are arguing for devolution of powers. We in Gauteng,
point of order.
We have...
Point of order. Wait.
Can I look for hours?
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Ntate Maile was left with 43 minutes. Was left with 43 minutes, and that time has now moved from 43 minutes to 3 minutes, 43 minutes.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
Okay. Honorable Msimanga. Honorable members, I need to explain this so that everyone is on the same page. Honorable Masuku had 4 minutes left. No, it is paused. No, he did not. Amapel. No, just honorable members, order. Okay, Honorable Msimanga, I'm explaining to you what happened. I was watching time here and there was 4 minutes left. There was a request that it be added to his time, and that's exactly what happened. So, now you want to refer to the Rules Committee? That's fine. No, I'm not going to be fighting with cockroaches. So your time is paused. So you can proceed.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, I'm not going to be fighting
Thank you very
cockroaches.
much, Honorable Speaker. So I was saying the difference is that in Gauteng, despite the fact that this is not our competence, we are not moaning and complaining about it. We are not fighting for power or control. We are investing resources and working with the police. We've got a 10-point plan to fight crime. And the annual report is coming. We will give you the statistics. Since we deployed helicopters, since we deployed cameras, since we deployed more boots on the ground, since we invested more resources and working with the police, you'll get the statistics. So I wanted to make sure that the members understand that point. The second point that I want to raise, which is raised by Honorable Msimang, it's not true that NPOs are closing and money was taken from NPOs. I'm saying to you, and I can challenge you, Honorable Msimang, as MEC of Finance, there was a challenge about how the resources of the NPOs were used because some of them were not reporting. And because they were not reporting and accounting, the money was then reprioritized back to Treasury. But when we came back, and I can refer you to a press conference, joint press conference that we had with the MEC of Social Development, we made a commitment that we are restoring that money. During the adjustment last year, we restored that money. So the problem with the DA is that they thrive on propaganda, on lies. And that's why all of them are saying we are posturing, we are dealing with PR and all that. That's not the point. You know what's the point? We are communicating effectively. And because we are communicating effectively, they've got a problem with it. They want to be the only ones who talks to the public and tells the public lies because they know that what they are saying it's not true. So that's the second point. The third point, Honorable Bloom, it's not true that the Premier did not consider the SIU report. SIU never investigated the HOD of health. It was there were investigations in health. However, the Premier, because we have an agreement with SIU, the Premier asked SIU to do a lifestyle audit on all HODs and all CEOs. It was after the Premier received the report of the SIU on lifestyle audit that he acted. So don't come and mislead the House. It's not true. The other issue which member, and I want to show the lies, member Engelbrecht, you are saying we have cut money. In fact, you are not saying that the gazetted amount is 315 and we are giving one learner 840. You are lying once again. And
Honorable
I can go on and
Maile.
on to expose your lie and hypocrisy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maile. Honorable Msimanga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Speaker, I'd like to rise on Rule 77.
Proceed.
It's necessary because Member Malaza and Member Speaker will agree with me. Umfundisi usukunyiswa ngengoma. Siza mporo, siza mporo. Thank you, Chair.
Madam Speaker, that's an internal, we'll call that an internal joke, we'll share with the House one day. But back to serious matter. You know, it's very interesting that when substantial issues are raised become the defense mechanism, become the default position. When you raise substantial matter, issues of apartheid become the defense mechanism that gets to be used. Let's put a few things into perspective. Myself and Member Makubela come from Atteridgeville, a place where you would never have to queue to get water from water tankers. Since he was born, you would never have to wait on queues to go and get water tankers. That is something that is now happening, and it's happening in more townships. It's happening even in suburbs before. This is now the challenge that we're sitting with. When you raise the issues of seriousness of corruption, you are told of racist, you are given racist remarks. This is a problem, Madam Speaker, because we are not dealing with the substantive issues that have been raised here, and the default position become raised. But I'm reminded of one thing that Mahatma Gandhi said. He says, and you are right, Member Chabalal, Mahatma Gandhi says that first they will ignore you, then they will laugh at you, and then they will fight you, and then you win. They can laugh now, they can ignore us, but let me tell you one thing. As we have been saying for a number of years and have been proven right time and time again, you can talk about the issues of ESCOM, we've been proven right. You can talk about the issues of life as a demand, we've been proven right. We've been talking about the issues of rainwater, we have been proven right. And again, we are going to be proven right. We have said these issues of Panyaza, that this thing is a challenge and is a problem. You are still denying it, and here we are, 2 billion rand, and you are talking about Madam Speaker, cannot be protected.
Honorable members, Howling is on a, okay. Can you give him an opportunity to respond to the debate, please? Honorable members, Honorable Msimanga.
Thank you very much, Madam. We will again be proven right. As again, we will be looking at the Auditor General's reports that will be coming, looking into the 2 billion rand that has been spent in totality around the issues of Panyaza, will be proven that this was not only illegal, but it is also fruitless expenditure that we will now have to then come and deal with in this House here. And this is something that when we put on the table, we are told this is a frivolous motion. Frivolous in what way? Well, you have thousands of young people's lives that have been put in danger. People in Davidton's life has almost been, been eradicated. People in Soweto, who the young men who were inadequately trained had been actually attacked and actually been injured. Panyaza member Lesufi has never said a single word on that particular issue, but actually then continue to lie to the people of Gauteng. Let's take it a step further. Member Makubela makes a statement which is very worrying. We've never put political colors to the people that are suffering, waiting in queues in Kalafong Hospital or in Steve Biko or in Charlotte Maklaike. We are saying these are people that need to get services, irrespective of their political affiliation. You know, hunger and good health and the need for services doesn't require you to carry a political card. It requires you to be a citizen of this country. And we are saying the fact that we are raising this matter here is an issue that should be taken seriously and should be debated at that. Leave the political colors alone, as most of you have now tried to do, to then say we are fighting for this but we're not fighting for that. But let's put some few facts into perspective. The most people that are not getting the services at this point in time are black people. Let's put it out there. The most people that are not getting the services that you claim that you are providing for are black people. The most black people that are suffering are coming from our townships that still have to then move, to try and get economic opportunities. The most vulnerable are the ones that you've neglected, the NGOs that you claim here that you've never closed. I can take you to a number of NGOs, NGOs that have had to close their doors, had to send women and children back to their perpetrators because of the NGOs could not continue to care for them. And you come here and tell us that that is not true. You can come with me, I'll take you there tomorrow. Not when, tomorrow I'll take you to those NGOs and I'll let you meet with those same people. But let's take it a step further. You come, when we raise important issues, we are told, no, you are Zionist, you are that. Let me tell you, we can care about what is happening in Palestine. We can care about what is happening in Gaza, and we do, and we've been speaking on it. But we're not a member, Ndate Bandile. I want to put something to you. It is important that we address the issue of Babita Deokaran, which you were MEC at that particular point in time. And then you were shielded by Premier Panyaza Lesufi instead of being held to account for that. So those are the issues that we need to be talking to. We need to be talking to the issues of water that is not there. We need to be talking to the issues of infrastructure that is falling apart in this province, that Premier Panyaza Lesufi has failed to address time and time again. But at the same time, we are told that this is a caring government that does the work, and then that is responsive. Let's talk about the responsive of this government. When we raise the issues of governance, and we've written endlessly to the Premier, we've written endlessly to the DG,
Madam Speaker, on a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Just hold on, Honourable Msimanga. Please take your seat. Point of order.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm not defending anyone. I'm defending a black child. Madam Speaker, Gandhi was a proven racist. And Honorable Msimani in this August House is quoting a racist, proven racist. And when is Honorable Msimani going to quote Malcolm X about house Negroes? Those that representing their masters and enjoy the crumbs and think that today they can be their masters. Muhammad Gandhi uttered sentiments about black people in South Africa. Maybe he lacks historic content about the struggles of our people because he's representing the views of the master which Malcolm X have addressed.
Honorable Comment, the point of order.
We are facing it right now.
The point of order.
Honorable Msimang, Madam Speaker, in this posting.
The point of order is?
Yes, the point of order is that Honorable Msimang is quoting a racist, proven racist. Because he's your master. That's what you can guy.
Okay.
And we can't allow that.
Honorable Comma, please.
Our mothers and uncles were killed in Soweto.
Honorable Comma.
By this racist regime.
Honorable Comma, you're now
today
debating.
We must allow Honorable Msimang to quote Gandhi. It's not
Honorable Comma, you're now
lifetime.
debating.
He must withdraw that racist.
Proceed, Honorable Msimang. No. It's not a point of order, so proceed.
There's nothing to withdraw. And we'll proceed. And this is exactly what I was talking to then say, instead of engaging with the facts and engaging with what is put on the table, you will find people reverting to racial rhetoric as a default position. But we can then let people see through that. You can see the deterioration in terms of...
Your mic.
Speaker,
honorable members, Speaker,
peace.
Thank you very
much.
Honorable Makwala.
Thank you very much.
Is it a point of order?
Yes, but the chief whip of the EFF has raised a point of order, and we await for your ruling or to call the member to withdraw on that order, because the member has been requested to withdraw the quoting of the racist man, Mahatma Gandhi.
So the order was that it's a racist remark. Because I asked him what the order was. Okay, I'll come back and rule on that. I'll consult the table. Honorable. Okay, proceed, Honorable Msimanga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I've heard a number of speakers here also commenting, and from the other political parties, to say what is our agenda and are we in bed with the ANC. We went with the ANC at a national level and made it very, very clear. We're not here to just be to be voting further for the ANC. This is why we were the first to stand alone and say the VAT is not going to happen under the DA watch. And this is why others were voting for VAT increases, and afterwards it then came to pass that this was not a favorable thing. And this is why today you don't have an increase of VAT because of the Democratic Alliance. This is what we said we'll do in government, and this is what we are doing in government. Let me say something. Let me say something quickly here. While others are busy guarding each other.
Honorable member.
Speaker, my time is getting
Honorable members, please take your seat. I'm going to address it.
We appreciate to be taught by Honorable Msimanga, but you must not lie into this.
Honorable members. Honorable members. No, you're speaking in terms of Rule 77.
Okay.
Yeah. Honorable members. Okay, Honorable Koma, I'll call you by your names now. Honorable Koma, Honorable Chabalala, stop that debate between yourselves. Honorable members, you're still going to have an opportunity to vote on the matter, which will be the best description of your feelings about this motion. Can we get to that? Allow Honorable Simanga to respond to the debate, and then we'll get to the opportunity that you have in law. Just hold on. No. No, honorable members, no. Honorable Advocate Lesufi, please take your seat. Please take your seat. I am still addressing the House. I'm addressing the House. I'm addressing the House.
To the motion.
I'm addressing the House. Honorable Msimanga, you can proceed responding to the debate.
Thank you very much, Madam
Respond to the debate, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I love Rule 77 because no matter how long they'll be able to howl, I'm protected by the rule and will continue to then state the facts as they are. So let me put a few things also into perspective. The governing party has moved from a 2/3 majority to under 35%. And you would have thought that they would have caught a wake up at that particular point in time. And this is the reason why we supported them. We supported them because we thought that after dropping under 35%, you would wake up and realize that the people of Gauteng were not happy with the line of governance that you have been following.
Honorable Msimanga, please take your seat. Honorable Advocate, you're rising on a point of order.
Ordinarily we are lenient, Madam Speaker, but this is still a grand house. It needs to be respected. The reverence accorded to it needs to be maintained. Don't rush. Don't rush. Allow me.
Honorable
Allow me.
Please address the House. Yeah.
Your processing abilities might be a bit delayed. Allow me to deliver this point. The point that I'm making, Madam Speaker, the DA led by Member Msimanga is the one that submitted this motion. He has said all of us. He's now expected to respond to the motion. We're not doing a general debate of, his observations of what is happening globally or in the country. Could we request Member Msimanga to align his thoughts? Just focus on the motion and the responses of the issues raised by members here. That's the only appeal.
Okay, Honorable Msimanga. Honorable Msimanga. Okay, I'm going to sit here and keep quiet until you decide to behave, all members. Balotle, le feditse go bolela. Le feditse. Good. Honorable Simang, please just be reminded, that's not a point of order. I just want to remind you that you are responding to the debate on the motion. If you can stick to the facts. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. There were speakers that spoke, and I'm responding to those. And then there's an article that I want to refer the member at the back there. It's called the Thuras article. It talks about somebody who thinks bigger than they actually are. Somebody who's egotistic, who want to then puff themselves like a bullfrog, make themselves bigger than they actually are.
No, you are now deteriorating.
But this is something that I want to then...
Honorable Simanga.
Okay, I apologize.
That's not the point of the debate,
okay.
you know.
I withdraw.
Yes, please.
I withdraw that. I withdraw.
Yes.
But
it is withdrawn. He withdrew it.
Here's the thing, Madam Speaker.
Yeah.
MK, I withdraw that, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
But the point that I was making is that when we come and debate, we must debate here effectually and not try to belittle others, because it can go both ways. That we can then do. But that is not the order of the day here. What we must also then deal with, Madam Speaker, is this. There is a comparison here by a few members who want to then compare the governance of the Western Cape and the governments of Gauteng. Let me put a few things into perspective. If you go and research in terms of the investment portfolios, property investment portfolios, the Western Cape is able to then attract more property buyers than any other province in South Africa, for a few reasons. One is that there is a proper infrastructure investment plan and it is being rolled out. Second part is that there is better security. Yes, it is lacking, and this is where the issues of national competency come in. So we agree with you, Member Maile, but here's the problem. While we are fighting the Western Cape for the devolution of power so that we can have police that are employed, that are trained, that are actually then deployed by the provinces, Premier Lesufi is sitting there and not saying much about it. And this is why we have Alan Winde fighting that battle solely there. And this is why we are saying we need to then have that devolution of power. But one of the things that you're not mentioning is that all your leaders own properties in the Western Cape. Why are they running to own properties in the Western Cape and not wanting to buy? They must buy. Name them, I can tell you where they have houses. All of them have houses because Ndata Cyril Ramaphosa owns properties there. Ndata Paul Mashatile owns properties there. Ndata Fikile Mbalula owns properties there. So we can go on and on. I can go on and on. But here's the point. The point I'm making is this. Your colleagues, you come here and want to then say the Western Cape is not a properly run government, yet your own leaders, even in their own mouth, they say it. If you don't believe me, go and listen to what President Ramaphosa had to say. You can learn from the DA, and you must be learning from the DA. What did Ndata Gwede Mantashe said? Learn from the DA. But here's the point. We can learn from each other here, and we can belittle each other. The point of the matter is this. We have been saying time and time again, we have voted hoping that Lesufi would have learned and would have then accepted the fact that we cannot continue in the manner that we have been continuing. But instead of him turning his ways and coming to the table and say, how do we then fix things, have continued to hide things from the people of Gauteng, have continued to mislead the people of Gauteng, and in fact has continued to keep some of the people that should have been taken out of government and actually then played musical chairs. That for me is the point of why we are here today. It is not to say the DA is bitter. The DA cannot be bitter. In fact, we have been proven right. We have been proven right time and time again to say staying out of that government is the best thing that we could have done. By the way, we were not fired. We were not co-opted. Up to the last hour, I kept getting calls to then say we're expecting you here. And I said, I have it in black and white. I have it in black and white. I can put it to the House in black and white to then say, give us the names and then we'll see how we deal with it. The DA has been proven time and time again to have been on the right side of history and will continue to be on the right side of history, as we have done with Life Esidimeni, as we would have done with ESCOM, as we would have done with rainwater, as we would have done with so many of the issues that have bewitched this province of ours. And we are here to say today, history will judge those that decide to stand on the side of wrongdoers. And that's one thing I want to put, Madam Speaker, as I sit down. There were those within on the opposite side of where we're sitting who were asking for us to do this in privacy because they don't want to be voting that side. And we said, no, we don't want to do this as a secret ballot. We want each and every member to stand up and show which side they are going to be standing on. Because the history must be able to then judge and say, when things fall apart, who was responsible for those things falling apart? And now is the opportunity to do that. I thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker, will the member take a question? Will the member take a question?
Oh, my brother.
No, thanks. Honorable Nsimang, are you aware that in 1994, the population in Gauteng was hovering around 7+ million, and more than 30 years later, it's now hovering just over 16.1 million. And are you in agreement that because the population, and every year in Gauteng you've got more people coming to the province, to be exact about 230,000, that places a huge burden on our infrastructure? Will you agree that Gauteng has to be given more money than all other provinces? Thank you.
No, we can't leave him. We're on TV. We can't leave him.
Okay. Honorable Chief Whip. Thanks.
No, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise in terms of Rule 177. I agree, Honorable Msimanga, we both are from the same township called Attridgeville. But we seem to be living in two different Attridgevilles. I want to pose a question to you. When did the water tankers arrive in our township? And who was in government at the time that the water tankers arrived? I want you to clarify. I have the facts, but I just want you to verify those facts for me. Thank you.
Is that a question as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So, Speaker, I want to ask Member Msimanga that is he aware that the Western Cape has the highest number of foreign properties owned by foreign owners, but also Western Cape has a gentrification issue where poor black and colored are being brought out by air bins and international buyers, also experiencing the wave of settler colonialism where property land and even breaches are inaccessible to communities but to white Europeans.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to ask the Honourable Member a question. Given that the population in the Western Cape has increased from 3.6 million in 1994 to nearly 8 million today, what can the ANC learn from the DA with regards to service delivery and, and planning as far as infrastructure is concerned?
Please, guys.
Okay, just
That's a legitimate question.
In terms of
Is that question directed
If you could
to-
please explain, I'm on the floor.
Speaker, in terms
am
of
I?
Rule 81,
if
can the
the
member
honourable
sit
member
down?
could please explain to the ANC
Can you-
caucus
can you
what
sit
planning
down?
is all about. Thank you very much.
Honourable Mikwe.
No, Speaker, I'm rising on Rule 89.
We also have
I
questions.
suppose
You
Honourable-
ask questions. We also ask questions.
Hey, the burgemeester van Mfuleni.
Just hold on, I can't hear you.
Speaker, in terms of Rule 89, I suppose Honourable Msimang was responding to the debate. So Rule 77 is not applicable for this part. Can we move on, please?
Okay.
No one must respond on anything that has been said after he has closed the debate. Thank you.
Okay, let me read that. Just hold on. Wena Chabalala, o ska nya go ntella ke
Hard to respond, Darata. We're going to respond properly.
Honorable members, let me just read this in terms of Rule 77. Honorable Simanga is still on the speaking list. He still is on the speaking list. And it says, members other than those referred to in sub-rule 3 may not speak longer than 30 minutes at a time. I'm reading all of it. You'll get to the point. 30 minutes at a time to a question, provided that the time does not exceed the party's allocated time. At the end of each speech, according to the speaking list, any member, including members who have already spoken in the debate, may indicate to the presiding officer that he or she wishes to ask a question or make a remark. So please respond to the questions. Honorable Simang, I'm also going to ask you that you respond to the questions. Honorable Chabalal, you are suppressed. No. Honorable Simanga, proceed.
Okay. Thank you very
I'm
much.
suppressing you. You can refer it to the rules committee if you want.
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
In terms of rule.
Thank you very much.
In terms of rule?
I think there was a rule that was cited by Honorable Mekwe. That Member Msimanga closed the debate. And therefore, Rule 77 does not actually is applicable in this regard. So the debate is closed. Madam Speaker, the debate is closed. Member Msimanga closed the debate and can't respond to anything related to Rule 77. So the debate is closed. Where we are now, it's on the consideration of the vote. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do.
Madam
Honorable
Speaker,
members,
don't
please.
allow to be questioned by the
Chabalala, I'm going to ask you, have you removed from the House? I'm going to have you removed from the House. No, I am going to do it. Honorable members, I just read the provisions of Rule 77, and please do not ask me to read them again. Honorable Simanga, respond to the 4 questions that were asked to you, and I'm going to plead with you that you respond to the questions only because he's still on the speaking list, honorable members.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. There are fundamental questions that have been asked, and the answers are as follows. The ANC likes to brag about being evidence-led. Now, being evidence-led means that you're able to then project as well where your growth is going to be and where the people are going to be flowing to. So yes, since 1994, people have been flocking to Gauteng, and you can actually then project where the people are going to be settling. Therefore, in your planning, you should be saying bulk services should be going this way, houses should be going this way, economic opportunities should be going this way. Do you have that plan? Dololo, you don't have that plan. This is why you have a particular problem of not being able to then deal you are not able to then deal with the challenges of the growing numbers as you're supposed to have been receiving. Gauteng is still receiving. Are you going to stop me, ma'am?
If you keep, if I asked you to respond to the question.
I am responding to the question, ma'am.
Please don't get into a debate. Honorable members, you either allow me to run the House or you can come and sit here, all of you. I'll sit there alone. All of you can come here. I'm asking you, Honorable Msimang, to respond to the question. Do not debate. Respond to the questions.
I am. I need to explain that the point I'm making is this. When I'm asked, do I know of the population growth? And do I know that money is needed there? I'm responding to that. So I'm saying you need to be able to then say, where is your growth point and where is your plan? Because your plan then talks to the money that you need to be asking for. Because you ask money to then say, this is where my plans are. I need this kind of money so that I'm able to then deal with the population growth that we're dealing with. That is the response to Member Maile there. For you to then just be asking for money because you have numbers that are increasing without substantiating where is the growth plan and where is your projection, that is not something that is going to help you. That's the answer that I wanted to give. So, and member Makubela asked the question, where are the tankers, or where did they start? The tankers started in 2004, in fact. In 2004, the issues of the water tanker started. In Matlajwane, the issues of water tanker started there. You know what started that? Is when people started settling next to the reservoir and started digging there, because then you started having issues of reservoir pressure issues. And we can go beyond that. We can go to Mamelodi, we can go to Soweto, where people have started receiving, less pressure water or no water at all. So if you want answers, I can give you answers. If you thought this was going to be an embarrassment to us, no, it is not. It is an indictment on your government. Ntate Makwela, you're asking about the highest number of foreign investment. You see, there's a law in South Africa, and it's not governed by, it's not a law that is initiated by the DA. It's a law that is, it's an international law, in fact, that anybody can come and invest anywhere and become a citizen on the basis of investment. You can go and invest in the US and become a resident based on investment. You can go to Mauritius or wherever you want to go in the world on the basis of you being able to then invest. You can go and invest. So if you are saying that is something that must change, it's not only limited to the Western Cape, by the way. Go to Sandton and see how many communities are actually then coming from outside of South Africa that are allowed to come here. So if you want to lay that on the DA, I think that is misleading, and that is actually something that is misplaced. You must look at the laws if you want to change that, and don't blame the DA for being able to attract millions and billions of rands that is coming from outside of South Africa into the country. Now, the last issue here that the member was asking, what is the difference? The difference is this, ma'am. Planning, implementation, and holding people to account is what is going to ensure that government is moving in the direction that is supposed to be moving, is what is going to ensure that people are attracted to your province, people are attracted to your town, people are attracted to your suburb. Because if there is planning, there is implementation and holding people to account who are supposed to be delivering services, that's when government works for the people. Okay. That's when there's attraction. That's when you get investment. That's when you get a better quality of life. If that is something that the ANC haven't learned as yet, then I promise you the next 4 years or however is left is still going to continue to be doomsome for the rest of the people of South Africa. And this is something the DA is not prepared to stand and account for. Thank you very much.
Okay, honorable members, this motion was tabled for adoption. So I now put a question on the adoption of the motion. Those in favor say yes. Yes. All those that are not in favor say no. No. Honorable members, the noes have it. Honorable Msimanga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. At this point in time, the Democratic Alliance would like to call for the division of the House, please.
Bring it on.
How much?
Ready.
How many minutes? Okay, honorable members, Rule 109 subsection 2 states that there must at least be 4 members who support the demand for a roll call. If there are less than 4 members, the presiding officer declares the vote. Rule 109, subsection 3 says if 4 members support the demand for a roll call, the presiding officer calls for the bells to be rung in terms of Rule 110, subsection 1, for 3 minutes. So where are the 4 members that support? Okay. So the bells will be rung for 3 minutes. Sergeant, yeah. Sergeant in arms.
Imam, Gaddafi. You know what Gaddafi said about black people? You know? Yeah? Subhumans that don't deserve to govern anybody or rule anything.
Okay.
We must.
The maze is up, honorable members. Sergeant in arms, can you please close the doors? Sergeant in arms, lock the doors. Lock the doors. Lock. Sergeant in arms. Hola. Hola, como. Kira bang go le so. Kira bang go na le disorder bang. Mara ntwe ha ina volume.
What's the thing is?
Tenya go kono pa tsidi ka yona, bitsa tsidi. Tsidi. Sergeant in arms, close the doors, please. Close and lock the doors. In the volume. Oh, there we are. Sergeant in arms, close and lock the doors, please. Honorable members, I have called on the sergeant in arms to lock the doors, and they are duly locked. And the voter. Okay. So I also wish to indicate that in terms of Rule 110, subsection 4, no member may enter or leave the House until the results of the roll call have been announced. I now call on the Secretary to call the roll, and members shall reply yes to the question or no to the question, and the Secretary will then record the response in terms of Rule 115, subsection 1. Secretary.
Thank you, Speaker. A. Lesufi.
No.
N. Nkomora Lehoko. L. E. Makubela.
No.
T. Mutara.
No.
L. I. Maile.
No.
KP Diale Tabela.
No.
PJ Mamabolo.
No.
And M. Mtakazamana Mela. MMA Mfikwe.
No. No, Speaker.
MD Mkope.
Mfikwe, no.
No, she was.
Mfikwe, no.
Mkope. MD Kope.
Madam Speaker, on a point of order, you said the doors had been closed and no member shall enter or leave while the roll call is taken. No, she wasn't. She was outside. You cannot take the vote from
Speaker, we
honourable
are
member.
voting. He's nullifying our vote.
Honorable members.
It's not true, Chair. Speaker, there's
Honorable members, just hold on.
Water,
Speaker.
drink water. Water, drink water. I was not outside, Madam Speaker. I was behind this. I was behind this pillar. That's
Honorable
inside.
members, the doors are closed.
There is no door here.
And locked. So if you're saying that she was outside, who opened the doors for her? No, don't respond, please. Proceed.
MD Tope.
No.
LH Mekwe.
Kasongo, yo. No.
ME Kumalo.
No.
NF Mazibuku.
Ka.
MK Chilwani.
No.
VRM Ramakopa,
No.
E. Botha,
No.
LJ Evans,
Gladni.
GD Skillman,
No, no, and no.
AC Musai,
No.
V. Gentile,
Aye. Aye.
Dr. T. C. Chokwe,
No. Awa.
T. Ndlovu,
No.
Dr. B. E. W. Masuku,
Ka.
T. Nkani,
No, Chair.
A. B. Kaba,
No.
MS Kosana,
Never.
MS Kosana,
No.
B. A. Matlabe,
No.
S. D. Nyati,
No.
L. M. Kwanazi,
No.
N. D. Lebo,
No.
Dr. N. E. Mukherjee,
No.
Advocate B. E. Letswalo,
No.
M. I. Sisiriani,
The capital N.
M. I. Sisiriani,
Never.
D. N. Kabere,
No.
M. K. Mklongo,
No.
N. K. Mhobe,
How can I a big no?
M. T. Kunene,
Ngiyala ngivumi cha.
N. E. Meso,
No.
S. T. Msimanga,
Yes.
M. Moriarty,
Yes.
Dr. J. B. Bloom,
Yes.
P. Makwala, no.
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 It doesn't count.
No. No. No.
Advocate A. W. Alberts,
Yes.
Bishop D. K. Adams,
Abstain.
Bishop D. K. Adams,
Abstain.
B. W. Dlamini,
No.
R. N. Teke, R. N. Teke,
Big yes.
M. Waters,
Yes.
B. Engelbert,
Yes.
A. J. Hooks,
Yes.
M. Sirota,
Yes.
M. S. Koma,
Ya, ke a gana nka se gone.
Yeah.
R. F. Ngobeni,
No.
J. C. Moody,
No.
E. More,
No.
She said no. She said no.
No.
Ayanda Ali,
No.
N. M. Dayaha,
Yes.
A. Silius,
Yes.
E. P. Duplessis,
Yes.
Y. M. Soon,
Yes.
C. Bosch,
Yes.
M. S. Chabalala,
Yes.
J. M. Maloka,
No.
B. McKenna,
No.
M. Masoleng,
Le gale. Masoleng. Che. El Masilela.
Cha.
F Ngobeni.
No.
NC Simatla.
No.
K Poho.
Le maburu nka se kgone, no.
R Robinson.
Yes.
SJP Dos Santos.
Yes.
ON Madzebatela.
Yes.
MB Hicklin.
Yes.
J Miller.
Yes.
ZK Rasilingwani.
Yes.
NJ Van Dijk.
Yes.
LJ De Jager.
Yes.
RL Abrahams.
Nia.
T Siteka.
No.
FJ Mulder.
Yes.
FJ Mulder. FJ Mulder. FJ Mulder. FJ Mulder.
For the record, he said yes. That's a lie.
Luca.
FJ Mulder.
Maluka.
I repeat,
Honorable
yes,
Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Who voted Maluka? She has voted.
Yeah, the votes will be tallied, honorable members.
Gwede o itse le tlohelle ho bina. Gwede o itse le tlohelle ho bina.
I know that there's a lot of senior councillors, but we have no councillors. Capacity, Dololo. We all sing well. But capacity, Dololo.
Chabalala nomsimanga.
All sing well, but capacity, Dololo.
Ya destroy umsima. Ate ya destroy umsimanga.
Okay. Okay, honorable members, order, order. Honorable members, there are 80 members in total in this legislature, and this is the outcome of the voting. The yeses are 24, the noes are 54, one member abstained, there's no one who is absent, and there's one member who did not vote, and that is the speaker, so the numbers tally. 80 all in all participated. The motion is not carried.
Oh, Yema.
Leaders of political parties, Chief Whip, members must come and sign. Leaders, just hold on, Deputy Speaker. Yeah, please, members must come and sign. Yeah, you can sing.
I know that we have a lot of singing councillors, but we have no councillors.
I wanted to on the course by 3 o'clock, and I still got to do. I think.
yima.
Why is I included?
Yima. Yima.
Chabalala mnomsimanga. Chabalala man to man.
Okay, honorable members. Who? Oh, okay, she'll come and sign, yeah. Okay, honorable members, this brings the meeting to a conclusion. Thank you very much. Have a nice day further. No, you wait for the exit of the speaker. Thank you.
Chabalala nomsimanga. Chabalala man to man. Amazulu choose.